Hello folks, welcome back to another year of In the Goldfields. As you can see right now, I am back in my office 2 months early. I'm actually down here on the claim real early this morning because we do have the sun coming up. And as you can see with the lack of facial hair and the different hat, it gets pretty hot out here in the daytime. But what I got for you today is I'm down here on my new claims that I told you about last year. And this is going to be fundamentally great because I have a lot of people ask for what do you look for when you walk down on a new claim and you've never been down there. Well, these 3 claims have got a lot of extensional history back behind them. There has been certain places out here in the front that's been mined off by tractors. There's been other spots up here that's been mined by old timers. There's also been new spots set in by floods that we've had in the past 5-6 years. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to walk you around. I'm going to show you this claim. Now, we're not going to get to all 3 different claims today. I'm going to basically stick with the one. It's right going to be in the middle of the horseshoe bar. Everybody knows I like to dig those horseshoe bars. But I'm going to show you pretty much what I'm talking about, where the water wraps around us and everything in the inside here is going to be your horseshoe. Now you're going to see some different heights of bedrock. You're going to see different rock piles, different piles of gravel and dirt. You're going to wonder what those are for. Well, I'm going to actually try to explain them for you today. One of the things I want you to look at, since I am standing here, is if you look right behind us, you'll notice these little protrusions, big rocks, and there's some big hills right here, and there's a deep gully. Now I'm going to show you what that was about here in a little bit. I'm going to walk around. I've actually got a new camera, so I can actually do a lot of walking like I wasn't able to do with my last camera. But I'm going to show you exactly where they had wash plants set up, where they were doing digs, and places that I tested already with my garden auger to find out if there's gold in it. But anyway, like I said, our first place, I'm going to take you over here where the creek actually comes first in on it, and I'm going to explain a little something to you. There's a big rock shelf, and a lot of people would be misleading and misled to dig there, but I'm going to tell you why you shouldn't dig there. Stay there, we're going to be back. Now, here we are. We are at the far side of a claims. We're between my first claim and my second claim, and this is where the actual creek comes through. Now you'll notice this big, nice protruding bedrock that comes out. Now when the water comes in, it sweeps out that way, makes a big roundabout bend. Now a lot of people's misconception about water and how it works is because a lot of people's going to consider this to be a slow area. And what it is when the water banks off of this rocking, it bounces out so far. It does create a slow area, but it's not the slow area that you're kind of looking for to dig gold. Now let me show you something right up in here. Now, when you come up in here, you're going to see a lot of this fluffy sand, this old mica and stuff like that. We know by digging and testing how much gold is going to be in this. Is not going to be a lot because there's going to be some super lot of mica. Up in there, you'll see a lot of the sand and rocky shoal that you have. That's going to be a little bit rough too because it's right after the rock. Most generally, what you want to do is you're going to want to walk out about at least 6 to 12 feet past where you're going to think the eddy is, and that is going to be where your eddy probably started a long time ago with a creek. So up in here, and which I'm going to bring up here and show you in just a second, up in here you're going to see 2 different kind of levels, some of the mountain stuff and some of the stuff that I said that we would probably dig. So let me pull you up here real quick. As you can tell, I can't get in front of the camera right now, but there's the bedrock piece. Now everybody would think that this would be your dead flood zone. But if you look right here, you see this type of rock? See all that type of rock there? That's actually fallen off the mountainside here. Now we are, like I said, briefly right beside the mountainside, and there's not too much gold in that stuff. But if you come over, you'll see, like I said, you see this light, crappy, fluffy sand. That's junk stuff. That is just junk. Now keep your eyes for the control of the water and the change in the ground. You see, you got still starting the sharp, nice rock. You got all that fluffy sand. See all that nice fluffy sand? Like I said, trash, trash, trash. Then you get over into here, and oh my gosh, what's happening? You guys seeing the little bit of difference here? That's right. Now we're probably about 12 to 13 feet away from that rock. Like I said, this would be where I would consider first starting to dig. The reason is because looky here. You got the bigger rounded river rock. You got all kinds of little smaller gravels in there. This means that this could be one of the pickup zones, and it goes across across my claim. And you see, you come down here. Got to walk through these bushes. Got to watch out for snakes too. But Anyway, you see, look at that. Look at that good, that's the good stuff right there. Nice gravels that can be classified. You got 2 or 3 levels of different gravels in there. And then you come right out and you got, well, if you look up here, I don't know if the sun's blocking you or not, but if you look up here, you got about 4 feet of it. Now, if you walk back out here a little bit more, and I can show you again, see how your cobbles start, there's your river rock. So like I said, we're about a good 12 to 13 feet away from that natural slow zone. And this is what I would be looking for. Now this big cobble, this just indicates that this is a slower zone than what you'd see out here in the main riverbed. You see the riverbed going down, but this is the main channel zone. But that stuff right there would be what I call the slow flow. That's the stuff that build up because the water would actually go across that piece of the claim, and it would continue on, because this might have been a 100-year-old flood. We don't know, you never can tell until you get into it. Like I said, if you start finding them sands as you got the classified gravels and stuff like that, that really is going to tell me that the creek has went in front of this mountainside at one time. Now remember, the creek builds on by years and floods and things like that. Now I already know on this claim that the front of the claim has been taken off by a big tractor. So without that, we're going to stay away from the front. I think when it gets wet, there is a lot, and I mean a lot of sand down there. I'm talking 6 feet deep sand. It'll get a 4-wheeler stuck. So I think I want to wait for the wet season to come in, and that way I can run that sand through a dredge a lot quicker and a lot faster and a lot more efficient than a dry washer. But this right here, these little gravels, this is going to be a place where I'm going to be considering starting to work my dry washer into the bank. And if it gets in so far, it gets a little bit richer, I'll come out about another 2 feet, see if it's richer. If it's still nice and rich, I'll go in another 4 feet and come out. And then once I do that and come out again, if I find it still has gold, that's going to give me a good 10-foot swath to however far that I went in for dry washing and getting gold every day instead of thinking we are. So without ado, I'm going to take you on this time, I'm going to take you right into the middle of the claim. And I'm going to show you a little bit of where I'm at now and the kind of line that I'm following right across here. I was right over there, and you can see how the creek wraps around right through there. It comes right down through there, everything. So it's pretty far away. But if you look up here, I'm up on the high parts. Now look at that stacked rock. See how nice and stacked that is? Now look here when we get into this. This is what this is why I know for a fact that there's been a tractor down here mining. This is what we call grizzlied rocks, or classified if you want to talk about it, but it has been through a grizzly. And if you look back here, you have another nice deep impression of the hole off of the side of the mountain here. Now if you look at that mountain, they went as close as they could up to that mountain without even getting into the mountain and destroying the mountain, because you don't want to get into the red sharp rock like that bedrock. There's just nothing there. But if you look coming through here, look how the stuff changes. Now you're seeing more red dirt instead of red mountainside. Well, that red dirt, well, that's usually out here in the desert. You get the red stuff, that's that good oxidized stuff. It's got a lot of metal in it and a lot of stuff that turns the dirt just red as a gourd. Like I said, you can see all these tailing piles. Now I know you guys, this is not a regular video of mine because I usually don't walk around, but I do have a new GoPro, so I'm testing it out, getting used to it. So you're just gonna have to bear with me, but this is the only way I could really walk and show you what's going on. All right, then you come up in here and you're gonna see another dig site. Now this dig site, and you can tell we got bank on this side, a bank on this side, nothing in the middle. But what size is this hole you're seeing is the same size as a front end loader would be. Now the road goes back out this way. Now a lot of stuff's growed up, but the road is still here. But if you will go up in here and look, if we can get up in here and look, I gotta be careful because I popped up on a rattlesnake the other day. I don't want to do it today. Well, at least while I've got my camera going in my hand. So all right, so we go up in here and away we go. And now look what I was talking about. We're not 10 feet away from that other side. Now look at all that. That is virgin ground with river rock in it, folks. Now I'm 5'7", and this camera's face level. So that stuff is a good, oh goodness, 6 feet above my head. But I've got that way straight in front of me, and look at all this beautiful stuff out here. I mean, we've got quartz in it. We've got bigger quartz. We got river rock. This is what I'm going to say would be really good for dry washing to start out. We haven't tested this particular part just because I can see there's river rock in it. I know that there's red dirt. It's mineral and oxidized, so I'm pretty sure that there's going to be gold. But yeah, that is the stuff that you're looking for out here in the desert when you first come off. Now, if we walk back over here, like I said, that stuff to me, that really looks like a good start to me. What's the big advantage of it is that I've probably got, there's 4 weeks of digging right there, at least 4 weeks. So I'm pretty good on that. So if you come back up here, let me turn you back around. All right, we're back out of the hole. Now, if you walk over here with me again, another tailings pile right here. It's got grass growed up. You can tell it's old. It's really old. This stuff here is going to be another little tailings pile. But I think this is going to be one of the spots, if I could, yeah, okay. This is going to be one of the spots where I think their wash plant was setting right here, because water, you go down in there and there's a lot of it's all classified. There's nothing there. So I think they were running their stuff out through there, or running it off here and then having a back truck or a dump truck or a backloader come in and load them up, because you see that tailings pile there and tailings pile there. That's not tailings. That's actually a spoils pile. It just hasn't been worked, or it hasn't been classified. Like I said, you come back up in here and you see all that, where that was over there. Look at all this dirt we got here in the front. Now this is what I'm saying, it's going to be pretty iffy but chancy, because you're not going into the side of the mountain yet. The mountain's up there, way up there. That's where the side of the mountain is. But we still have all the dirt that we can get into. Now here's another kind of situation, a little bit of tailings pile. And see, some of these tailings piles for no rhyme or reason are here, and they're just in obscure places. But that, like I said, there could have been miners in the 80s. There could have been miners in the late 90s. So when everybody's come down here and did something, you know, they've tried it. Okay, just like this. See this hand stack? Look, this is all hand stack rock around here. Completely, it makes a bowl. So, was someone digging here, piling rocks out? I don't think so. I think this is a water hold. I know it doesn't look very big, but there's no rhyme or reason why somebody would stack rocks in a complete circle while they're digging. It's not making sense. But that does make sense to stack holes to keep water in this little particular place. Now, if you can see, I'm kind of high on my claim. There's a lot of digging that way that hasn't been done, but everything down there, you see how low that is? That has been struck with a tractor. That's dug with a tractor. So that's dug out there. This over here has never been dug. So let's walk over here and try to find here a little bit. Go through this scrub. It's a pain in the butt. Like I said, folks, there ain't been anybody down on this claim for years. That's why it's so growed up. And as you can see, I got, oh my gosh, there's plenty up here to dig. Plenty of quartz, plenty of everything. Now I wanted to get, there's a certain section that I wanted to show you, if I can find it. But you guys are here right now walking with me on the claims. So it's pretty exciting. Now you can see plenty of trash left up in here. Old wash plants and stuff like that. There's some pipe and stuff left way down there. I found it was like some 6-inch stuff. Pretty gnarly stuff. Anyway, okay, right up there you can actually see where the mountainside is, and then all this front stuff is still dirt. It's never been mined, it's never been touched. So that's real good. They never really got up in the high areas. They were mostly trying to stick around where the water used to be pretty early, and then they were also trying to stick around down by the creek more than anything. So, but we get right here and you'll see a little road. Got a couple little roads down there. Oh, there's where I want to go, right over there. All right, so we are close. Like I said, folks, I usually don't shoot videos and you see me moving around and stuff like that, but this is the only way I could get you in on the action, so to speak. All right, here we go. Now this is another pronounced ear area. Now look at those hand stack rocks. Hand stack rocks in the middle. predominant. Look there, like there. That stuff is just. Let me get up there and show you. This is where they left off. This is where they quit pushing at. And you can see in this stuff. This stuff is still. Look at that nice red dirt that'll go through a dry washer like nobody's business. So I still got a couple good piles. And you know why the pile didn't go past here is because, well, they didn't want to tear this big boy down. It's highly against the law to actually tear down the saguaros out here in the desert, so I'd recommend nobody do it. But you see they left that there, so all I'd do is I'd take out the front and go around it, and then come in the back side, leave that on its own little pedestal so it never dies or it never gets hurt. But then you come up in here, and like I said, you come off that left side and you get over here, and this is where it gets funny. Now this is just, you could tell. Look way over there, tailings. Look here, tailings pile that I'm on. Tailings. This has been really mined super hard over on the right side of my middle claim. And these tailings piles they're pretty good size. I mean, they are at least 9 feet tall, and they got some good tailings. Now you see down there in the creek. Now I'm going to take you down here in a little bit. I'm going to show you something about this far side of this this creek, and it's probably why they were up in here doing this. But in my opinion, I think that they went just a little too quick, and they didn't think too much. And not saying that they didn't get any gold. Getting the gold is highly possible. They could, well, they had to get something, because you wouldn't be digging up here and putting this many tailings. But I'm going to show you something that I think that they missed, and it's going to be, well, it's going to be old Swiftwater's benefit. But hang on right there. Like I said, let me go down. I'll get situated, kick the camera back on, and I'll show you exactly what I was talking about. Stick around. Okay, I'm back here on the outside bend, and what I wanted to show you guys. Ooh, it's getting hot. Oh boy, it's getting hot. Bet you it's already 100. But what I wanted to show you guys is this is the left side of my claim. Now look at this. Now look at that. That is why that tailings pile was so high up from the creek. That is nothing but Betty bedrock. And what is really cool about this claim is not only do I have some good quartz veins going through it, I have them up there, but if you look over here and pay attention now, you know, like I said, you got to pay attention and watch what's going on. See that bedrock up there, bedrock down here, and then what happens? Poof, no bedrock anymore. Look at that. See, it goes from that hard bedrock that's real high down to nothing. So in my opinion, if you had a mark on this end of your claim and did a rainbow to the other end of the claim, this is what I would want to go in, because the bedrock's right there. It continues to go down. So that means if the creek did come across the middle of the claim itself, it would not have went across the top of this bedrock. It would have come down and went on the outside of this bedrock and laid right down with it, and then took right back off this direction down the natural path of the creek. Now I know this stuff doesn't look like much. If you get in there and start kicking it, it's pretty hard pack. You see that stuff's pretty hard pack. It's got a lot of silt in it. That's why I know there's water that's been down there. It's got a lot of silt in it, and that's what we consider the junk fluff. But the stuff behind that junk fluff is what I'm really, really interested in. And see, you still got, there's still a whole lot of fluff. So could they have mined it off? Possibility. Is it worth a test? Yes, possibility. But another good thing is when I get up in the middle of this claim here, just off this bedrock, there's two spots up there where it's got bedrock spikes. So that's usually telling me there's a bedrock spike that's going to have a two-side drop to it. Those two-side drops could be the places that hold those, well, I'm not going to say big nuggets, but could be some good pickers up there. And that's, folks, I know you couldn't get a tractor in. You couldn't get a front end loader along that bedrock. They never did clean them off as good as they think they did. So I know they've left some pretty good gold up there. And then there's, like I said, there's some stuff on the right side of them upcroppings that I know that has not been dug. So, but anyway, that's what I wanted to show you. I hope that you understood a little bit of stuff. I'll try to bring you over. You know, I could probably do that. I could probably try to bring you over here a little bit. Follow this bedrock. Let's just watch here. And remember, there it is. Okay, look, big bedrock, big. Look at this bedrock. I mean, that is phenomenally freaking high. That's 15 feet high right there. Now, could you crevice in there? Actually, I would say no, because this is going to be, your wash is coming through, and this is going to be the hard part of the section. Water's going to be really banking off of it and moving fast. But there is always a possibility. You know, gold is where you find it, all that good stuff. But yeah, this bedrock, you see, this is on my left side of my claim, and here would be another kind of a slow eddy area, but that it would be built up in here, and it's going to be deep. But you can see right there's some tailings piles, and then over there's some more bedrock. So that's why I think they mined on top of that bedrock, because maybe at one time the creek went across that, and then the creek after a while washed this out. But I know they predominantly mined that. Well, there it is. I'm glad I got to show you. I'm a little winded. Freaking claims are, they're not all flat, folks. I'm just telling you, out here in the desert, they're not all flat. What we got behind me is in the middle of the wash, or it's actually in the middle of the creek. And you see how big this is built up? There's going to be gold all through this, but I'll tell you what, when it comes down to doing some classifying and stuff like that, you get in and start moving these big rocks, it wears on you. It's going to be for one heck of a long freaking day. So we try to stay out of them until it's wet. Anyway, I thought I'd show you the claim. And like I said, since the front of it I know has been knocked off by a tractor, we're going to save that for something wet. It's going to be pretty much like this stuff. It's going to be the last 20, 30 years it's been flooded down there on the front of the claim, and before that's been taken out. The stuff that I showed you up here at the top, that's going to be a little bit older. And I do know they had a wash plant in there, because I can just see how the layout went and how they had the water coming back to the creek, which you can't do that anymore. But you know, back in the early 80s, they didn't have the rules that they have now. So, but yeah, that's, like I said, that's what I would look for on these particular claims. And I've showed you kind of what I see and what I'm looking at. I potentially have 4 of the places I showed you, that those are the 4 of the places I'm going to be concentrating on digging, strictly because it is what it is, and it has what it has. You know, I've already did a couple test holes in there, come up with one pan that had 4 good flakes in it, so I know that if I keep on that particular streak, and like I said, stair step it to the side every once in a while to see if it's still there, you know, things could change and things could turn on you at any time. So you always want to kind of check that stuff out. But that's what I'm going to be looking for. That's what I'm going to be concentrating on my claims this year. My other claims are pretty much on hillside, and I got a couple little washes, but maybe I'll get into some videos like that another day. But like I said, when I look for stuff on brand new claims, you see what I'm looking for. Number one, I'm looking for the old stuff that's been there for a while. I'm looking, has anybody else worked it? And if they have worked it, where and why were they working it? And then did they cut off and quit? And then I also look for places like that bedrock wall, because if you go to the edge of that bedrock wall, 9 times out of 10, that's where that creek was coming through. Creek won't go through a bedrock. It'll deteriorate it after a while, but something that high, you can tell that piece of rock's been there for quite some time. But those are the things I'd look for when you get out here in a claim in the desert, and it's just something that'll help you out. I hope it helps you out. I mean, that's just, like I said, people always ask, what do I look for? So this video, I hope, helped you out the best. And anyway, just remember what I always say: get out there and start living life before life isn't there to start living. And I may see you in the gold fields. Have a great day, folks.
In the mood for some delicious barbecued ribs, pulled pork smoked sausage, and the best brisket in town? Try Can't Stop Smokin' Barbecue. 2 locations, 2650 East University Drive in Mesa and 7250 West Chandler Boulevard in Chandler. Can't Stop Smokin' Barbecue is serving up everything for lunch and dinner and deliver right to your home or office. Easy, quick catering setup for any parties and budget. Let them bring great barbecue to you. Amazing menu, lots of choices, and delicious barbecue. Can't Stop Smokin' Barbecue.